In the Philippines, a new chapter in the U.S.-China rivalry is being written in concrete and steel. The U.S. is expanding military infrastructure, most visibly with a major new runway at a key Philippine airbase, part of a rapidly deepening alliance with Manila, driven by shared concerns over China's assertiveness in the South China Sea. For the Philippines, this is a calculated move to bolster defenses. For the U.S., it's a crucial step in its pivot to Asia. This renewed partnership now includes joint military exercises, intelligence sharing, and the deployment of advanced weaponry, moves closely watched and resented in Beijing. The Philippines is becoming a critical hub for American power, raising the stakes in a region where the balance of peace is increasingly fragile. The central question: does this alliance deter conflict or bring the region closer to a dangerous flashpoint? At Basa Air Base, just north of Manila, a major transformation is underway. With significant U.S. funding and technical expertise, construction teams are building a state-of-the-art runway, one designed to handle everything from massive transport planes to agile fighter jets and advanced surveillance drones. This new runway is not just an upgrade, it's a strategic asset, built to support a wide range of military operations and humanitarian missions. The project is a symbol of deepening military ties between the U.S. and the Philippines, and it's reshaping the landscape of regional security. This construction is part of a much broader effort to modernize Philippine military bases under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. With 9 strategic sites now open to U.S. access, the partnership is entering a new era of cooperation and shared security interests. These key locations, especially those in Luzon and Palawan, are of immense strategic value. They place U.S. forces within rapid reach of both Taiwan and the highly contested waters of the South China Sea, allowing for quicker response times and greater flexibility in the face of regional tensions. The upgrades go far beyond runways. New fuel storage tanks, modern barracks, and expanded warehouses are being built, creating a network of resilient, dispersed military hubs. These facilities are designed to withstand potential threats and ensure that both U.S. and Philippine forces can operate effectively, even in times of crisis. For the Philippines, these projects mean a leap forward in military modernization and disaster preparedness. For the U.S., they offer a vital launchpad for projecting power and supporting allies throughout the Indo-Pacific region. The message is unmistakable. The U.S. is making a long-term commitment to the region, investing in infrastructure that will serve both nations for decades to come. As construction crews pour concrete and lay foundations, they're not just building runways, they're helping to shape a new security order in Southeast Asia, one that aims to deter aggression and promote stability. Unsurprisingly, Beijing views these developments as a direct challenge to its ambitions and the existing status quo, raising the stakes in an already tense region. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, is the legal backbone of this military buildup. Signed in 2014, EDCA allows the U.S. to build and use facilities on Philippine bases, but without permanent American bases or troops. The real shift came in 2023, when President Marcos Jr. approved 4 new EDCA sites, expanding U.S. reach in response to rising tensions over the South China Sea and Taiwan. The U.S. funds construction, runways, warehouses, fuel depots, while the Philippines retains sovereignty. Critics in Manila worry about sovereignty and entanglement in U.S.-China rivalry, but the government sees enhanced deterrence as worth the risk. EDCA gives the Philippines modernized bases and a stronger security guarantee, while the U.S. gains flexible, politically viable access in a critical region. The agreement is controversial, but it's now the cornerstone of U.S.-Philippine military cooperation. It's a calculated gamble in a time of rising regional tension. The alliance between the United States and the Philippines is now more visible than ever, especially in the dramatic surge of joint military exercises across the archipelago. These are no longer just symbolic gestures, but have evolved into intense, realistic training designed to prepare both nations for real-world crises and unpredictable threats. The flagship Balikatan exercise, once a modest affair, now involves thousands of troops from both sides, making it one of the largest military collaborations in the region. These exercises simulate high-stakes scenarios, like defending strategic choke points near Taiwan, repelling full-scale invasions, and responding to maritime threats in contested waters. The focus has shifted from counterterrorism to high-end warfare, amphibious landings on hostile shores, live-fire missile strikes, and complex integrated air defense drills. Each operation is designed to push the limits of coordination and technology. These exercises build true interoperability, ensuring U.S. and Filipino forces can operate seamlessly as a single unified team in the heat of battle, forging shared tactics, mutual understanding, and a deep sense of trust that only comes from training side by side. These joint drills also send a clear and unmistakable message to the world. Any attack on the Philippines could quickly trigger a U.S. response, underscoring the seriousness of their mutual defense pact. China watches closely as U.S. and Filipino troops practice sinking mock enemy ships in the South China Sea, massive displays of readiness and resolve that cannot be ignored. Spectacles like the elephant walk of U.S. aircraft in Japan with dozens of warplanes lined up in a show of force reinforce the image of American commitment and military might throughout the region. These drills are both preparation for conflict and a powerful form of deterrence, raising the stakes for any potential aggressor, and making clear that the cost of provocation would be high. The entire Asia-Pacific region is on notice. The U.S. Philippines alliance stands ready for conflict, determined to defend their interests if the need arises. From Beijing's perspective, the U.S. military buildup in the Philippines is a direct threat, not a defensive measure. China sees new runways, base access, and advanced weapons as part of a U.S.-led strategy to contain and encircle it, especially with EDICA sites near Taiwan. The Philippines, once a neutral neighbor, is now viewed as a potential launchpad for U.S. intervention in any Taiwan conflict. In the South China Sea, U.S. presence challenges China's territorial claims and its militarized artificial islands. Enhanced U.S. access to Palawan allows for more patrols and surveillance, undermining China's control. Beijing accuses Washington of stirring up trouble and using the Philippines as a pawn in great power competition. Every new U.S. deployment is seen as escalation, prompting China to ramp up its own military activities and diplomatic warnings. The result? A dangerous cycle of suspicion and escalation, raising the risk of confrontation. The arrival of advanced U.S. missile systems in the Philippines marks a turning point. In April 2024, the U.S. deployed the Typhoon system to northern Luzon, the first time such firepower has been based in the Indo-Pacific. Typhoon can launch Tomahawk cruise missiles capable of striking deep into China, and SM-6 missiles which defend against aircraft and ships. This deployment gives the U.S. a powerful new tool to deter China, forcing Beijing to rethink its military plans. For China, these missiles are a dagger at the throat, a direct, tangible threat. The initial deployment was for exercises, but officials suggest Typhoon will stay. Beijing has condemned the move as a severe escalation, warning it undermines regional stability. The missile buildup is now a central flashpoint in the U.S.-China rivalry. Alongside new weapons, the U.S. has ramped up intelligence and surveillance support for the Philippines. Advanced aircraft like the P-8 Poseidon and MQ-9 Reaper drones now operate from Philippine bases, providing real-time monitoring of the South China Sea. These assets track Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels, document harassment, and expose China's actions to the world. In 2024, a new intelligence sharing agreement established a joint command center in Manila, fusing U.S. and Filipino data for rapid response. This integration gives both militaries a common operational picture and the ability to act quickly against threats. The tempo is high and not without risk, as shown by a fatal surveillance plane crash in early 2025. U.S. personnel are now deeply involved in daily operations, gathering critical information in a tense environment. Surveillance is now a front line in the contest for control of the region. The Philippines has emerged as a pivotal link in the First Island chain, a strategic arc stretching from Japan down to Borneo. This chain is not just a geographic feature, it's a crucial line that shapes the balance of power in East Asia, acting as both a shield and a gateway for military and economic influence in the region. U.S. strategy is focused on maintaining a strong presence along this chain, aiming to contain China's expanding navy and secure vital sea lanes like the Bashi Channel. These waters are essential for global trade and military movement, making control over them a top priority for Washington and its allies. By upgrading bases, deploying advanced missile systems, and increasing the tempo of military operations in the Philippines, the U.S. is reinforcing what was once considered a vulnerable link. These efforts allow the U.S. to project power deep into the South China Sea and beyond, deterring potential adversaries and reassuring regional partners. For China, the first island chain represents a significant obstacle to its ambitions of regional dominance. In response, Beijing is investing heavily in long-range missiles, expanding its blue water navy, and conducting frequent exercises to test and improve its ability to break through this barrier. The U.S. and its allies are determined to make any Chinese breakout attempt both costly and difficult. The Philippines, once on the sidelines, is now an active and willing partner in this effort, participating in joint exercises and strengthening its own military capabilities. Manila, which previously tried to balance its relations between Washington and Beijing, has now made a clear choice to align more closely with the U.S. and its network of allies. This shift is reshaping the region's diplomatic and security landscape. Massive infrastructure upgrades, frequent joint drills, and the arrival of new weapon systems are all part of this comprehensive strategy. These moves are designed to boost deterrence and ensure rapid response in times of crisis. The Philippines is no longer a passive bystander, it has become a central player in the Indo-Pacific's evolving security order, shaping the future of the region alongside its partners and allies. The U.S. military buildup in the Philippines marks a fundamental shift in Southeast Asia's security landscape. Supporters say it deters Chinese aggression and upholds international law, providing stability through strength. Critics warn it's a dangerous escalation, provoking China and increasing the risk of conflict. The placement of U.S. missiles near China and the use of Philippine bases for operations close to Taiwan could cross red lines, fueling a security dilemma. The region now faces a precarious future, deterrence on one side, provocation on the other. The Philippines is on the front line, its choices shaping the balance of power. While the alliance may prevent large-scale war, it raises the risk of miscalculation and accidental clashes. The peace of the Indo-Pacific hangs in the balance, suspended between deterrence and danger.